52 at the lake, 55 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, this is Homer. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
My son got yelled at last night because everyone walks down here, and when I have to go out to the mailbox or something, I got to look both ways to make sure no one's coming because I don't want to talk to anybody.
Hey, Ray. How you doing? Good. You know that guy? He works at the restaurant Moho in your hotel. The W Hotel.
I thought you were talking about cars.
Yeah.
Nope.
Just assume you were
Even
trying
more
to avoid
dangerous.
getting hit by a truck.
I think he'd rather get hit by the truck than probably talk to his neighbors.
Why didn't you say hello to him? You know him. I know. He wanted to do a stop and chat. I didn't want to do a stop and chat. Stop and chat? Where do you come up with these things, stop and chat? He wanted to stop and chat with me, and I don't know him well enough for a stop and chat.
Is that true, Chew? Would you rather get hit by a truck than talk to your neighbors?
How hard?
Like a 3-day hospital stay.
But I mean, if you don't look, you can get caught with 3 people, and then you're there for 20 minutes.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running. How
are you feeling today, Chew?
I feel wonderful.
Wonderful.
I'm close. I need a vacation.
Aren't you going on vacation?
Yeah, but it's. I'm trying not to check out.
Senioritis.
A little bit, about a half a cup.
Great.
How was your trip? I don't think I've ever been to Oklahoma.
Hey, checked it off the old list.
Okay.
I had never been either. First time.
How many states have you been to?
Okay, I'm glad you asked.
Yes.
I looked yesterday as I was sitting on a plane that was not moving at O'Hare. More on that later. And I started looking at my list. The only states I have not been to are Delaware, Hawaii, which, by the way, we're going to take a family trip to Hawaii at some point, but the girls are little now. We're going to wait till they get a little older. It makes more sense. Maine, which is crazy because I lived in Connecticut for 4 years. You think I would have made my way up to Maine, but I never did. New Mexico.
Okay.
And Wyoming.
I've been to all of those. Well, I think I think a tough one for a lot of people is New England.
New England is not a
Vermont,
state. Okay.
New Hampshire. Well, we
Yes,
consider it a
yes.
state.
Yes.
Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Rhode Island are probably tough ones.
Yeah. I've been to all of those except for Maine.
I could go from Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Rhode Island, and probably, let me see, probably 5 hours.
Yeah?
I could hit them all.
But you're starting on the, I assume,
I would start in Connecticut.
east side of Connecticut.
Yes.
To kick over to Massachusetts.
Just clip Vermont.
Exactly. You don't have to even go to Boston.
No.
You just kind of into Massachusetts and then head north.
Yes.
Yes. We had a wedding in Vermont 2 years ago. So we did, and when we were there, I hit New Hampshire, I hit Massachusetts, obviously, but never hit Delaware, which is random. So I need to hit Delaware at some point. The problem is I cover college football. Not a lot of reason to go to Delaware.
You're not going to Bangor? To cover University of Maine?
Exactly. Not a lot of reason to go to Maine, not a lot of reason to go to Delaware. If you tell me I should go to New Mexico, I will, but...
Idaho's another tough one.
Been there.
I've been there.
Actually kicked up to Idaho when I covered Utah State, because Logan is only about 20 minutes from the border.
Okay.
New Mexico gets a bad rap. I liked the cities there. I thought they were fun.
It's a pit.
I guess it's
I'm just telling you, Albuquerque is Albuquerque.
I thought it had a lot of character.
It's got a lot of stuff. Yes.
Albuquerque always makes me think of Bugs Bunny. Doesn't Bugs Bunny famously talk about Albuquerque in one of his or a couple of his shows?
You go right to Breaking Bad.
Oh.
Right?
I didn't do that.
No.
You didn't?
I thought it
Now,
just
Santa Fe
had
is
cool
beautiful,
restaurants.
but it ends about there.
Okay.
Taos is nice, I guess.
But
it's okay.
it's like you're trying to convince yourself, but then you're like, no.
Yes.
You're trying and it's like, absolutely not. But again, college football being the vehicle for my travels, I feel like it makes sense why I haven't been to these places. Wyoming, maybe when Josh Allen was playing, maybe you get out there. I know Gino, my former colleague and coworker, did a story on Josh Allen when he was at Wyoming. But other than that, we're not doing a lot of pieces on
How about the
Wyoming.
Dakotas?
I've been to South and North Dakota. Well,
I have not.
You remember my father passed away in South Dakota.
yeah,
Spent a
sorry to
lot
bring
of
that
time in that stupid state.
Yeah.
Bleep those guys. Sorry. Anyway, so I'm glad that you
Alaska?
asked. I've been. We went on an Alaskan cruise.
Come on.
Wait, what states have you not been to?
Alaska.
Uh-huh.
Alaska. Both the Dakotas.
Mm-hmm. Montana. Have you been to
I've
Montana?
been to Montana.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Really?
Yeah. Oregon. Haven't been to Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been
That's
last year alone. I went to Oregon.
Yeah, you were
4
a
times.
frequent flyer.
That was crazy going to Oregon. So let me get into this then, since we're talking about travels. I went to Oklahoma yesterday. I never know, guys, when I fly into O'Hare, if I should fly on the connecting flight to Milwaukee or if I should leave the airport, get in a car, and drive. Now, my company expenses my travel, so that's not an option here, right? It's not a factor here, excuse me. So get to O'Hare yesterday, land at 5:30. My flight's at 6:20, so you got plenty of time. It actually happened to be the gate next door, so I was like, I can mosey around a little bit, get a few steps in. Well, got on the plane 6:25, sat on the runway / tarmac for 45 minutes. And Chew, my only complaint about this is, I got many, but the one that I want to focus on is just tell us why we're sitting. That's all. I just need the information, man.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore. I don't know why, because didn't they pass that law if you sit for X amount, the airlines have to refund you? No one wants to admit they're wrong anymore.
Do you think that's what it is?
Yes,
This is
totally.
the accountability thing we've been talking
Kids,
about.
nothing. They're never wrong. They always have excuses.
Feels like you got a story.
Adults. No story. It's just the way it is now. No one wants, and companies don't want to admit they're wrong because then there's liability.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they don't do it. So screw them. But my rule of thumb is always drive to Chicago. I know. Because look, you were going to fly to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
By the time you have to deal with all the crap, go to the next gate, fly, sit on the plane, leave that. You're talking maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not that much.
So again, theoretically speaking, if I got off the plane at 5:30 and made my way to baggage claim, I didn't have any bags, but that's where you have to pick up a ride share. That's where you pick up a car, right? Maybe that takes me 15 minutes at O'Hare, depending on where you are. It's a big airport. You know, you can have to walk a little bit. Maybe I get there at 5:45. Then it's an hour door to door from O'Hare to General Mitchell. An hour. So I'm showing up at General Mitchell at 6:45. Then I got a 30-minute ride home up to Mequon. So I'm walking in the door at 7:15. 7:15, my kids are still up. They're about to go to bed at 7:30, but they're still awake. I see my kids. How was your day? Cherries and pits, whatnot. And then I can spend the rest of the evening watching the baseball game, getting ready for the next day, unpacking my bags, stuff like that. In this case, I get on the plane at 6:25. We sit on the thing for 45 minutes. Now it's a quick flight, right? What is it, 20, 25,
up and
30
down.
to go to Milwaukee?
Yeah.
But I didn't get home until 8:30.
I know. I had the issue last week going to St. Louis because I would rather, if it's a wash, if it's the same amount for air travel as opposed to driving, I would rather drive. There's too many factors. Weather, plane, because we left our buddy's house at 9 o'clock to get to the airport to fly home. And by the time we were on our door, it was 2. Driving would have been the exact same.
Yeah.
Would you rather drive?
I would, yes.
So would I.
And again, it goes back to I'm sitting on this tiny plane because, they don't take a big old bus, old boat to go from Chicago to Milwaukee. Tiny plane. I'm sitting in the extra row because hopefully there's a little more space, but there's not. And I start to get a little panicky, start to get a little anxiety, starting to feel like, why are we sitting? I should have taken the Uber. I should have taken my friends over at AccuTrans. And the gentleman next to me sees that I'm starting to panic a little bit, and he starts to talk to me, which I was like, whew, great. Let's talk about anything other than the situation we are currently in. So we're chit-chatting. And, he is from Louisville, Kentucky, and he is going to Milwaukee to do some business. And he says, what do you do? I say, I work at ESPN. I was just in Oklahoma doing a feature story. And he ends up saying, he says, what else do you do? I said, well, I'm on Around the Horn today. You can catch me on Around the Horn this afternoon. And he says, really? I say, yeah. He says, my niece works on Around the Horn.
Huh, small world.
I said, what?
Yes.
He says, yeah, do you know Caroline? I said, Caroline, the researcher. Of course I know Caroline. I got to run all my information through her to make sure it's accurate before I say it on television. He says, well, that's my niece. I say, well, it's very nice to meet you, Caroline's uncle.
World.
Very small world. And it actually got me through a very, what would have been a very tough flight. Drive or fly from Chicago to Milwaukee. Cost is no option. You can do either one. I feel like most people are choosing to take the car.
I am.
Joshy, what about you?
I've had very similar situation take place to you. I had trying to leave Austin. This was about 2 years ago. It was about a 24-hour travel time for me between delayed flights, canceled flights, reflights, and then getting to Chicago finally.
And you're so close.
Which I was never supposed to be in the first place. I was always supposed to be going to Milwaukee, but the diversion caused a stop that wasn't planned. Especially at O'Hare, if you have one of those far runways, it's 20, 30 minutes just to taxi. You're just sitting there as the plane moseys its way out to where it needs to take off. I got to the point where they were at the runway about to take off, and then they said, we have a mechanical issue, which glad they caught it then. It felt a little concerning that they didn't realize it until we were about to take off, but then you taxi back, delays. I waited for a flight that would be 20 minutes, close to 3.5 hours.
Yeah, that's...
And at that point, I was like, I didn't want to have to pay because it already had become expensive doing all the trip.
Yep.
But at that point, getting on a bus from O'Hare to General Mitchell would have been better.
Yes.
An Uber, if it's not the high time, if it's sort of middle of the day and someone agrees to it, would have also been cheaper.
I am not at the decree yet. We have a family decree, never fly Spirit Air. We just decided years and years ago, we had a bad experience. We just said right then and there, from here forth, we never fly Spirit Air. I'm not at the decree point yet of never get on a plane from Chicago to Milwaukee, but I'm close.
Yeah.
I am close.
It's not that long a drive.
It's an hour. Again, I'm going to General Mitchell because that's where my car is, because that's where I dropped it off yesterday morning. So all told, yesterday, guys, I left my house at 5, flew out at 6:15. I got to my house at 8:15. I was in Oklahoma City / Norman for 2 hours. 2 hours.
Do they
noon until 2.
Do they have a shuttle that runs from O'Hare to General Mitchell? Because it feels like if they did, I would skip it 100% of the time.
That's a great question. I don't think there is, not any formal one that I've been made aware of. But again, we're not at the bang the gavel quite yet. But we are getting close to not flying anymore from Chicago to Milwaukee. We got a lot of stuff to get to this morning. Lots of folks weighing in on the ESPN Milwaukee talk and text line. Jerry in Kewaskum says, 2 years ago, I had to go to Albuquerque every other week for a couple of days for nearly 6 months. It's a bleep hole.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Ryan from McGuanago says, doesn't Jen drive faster than a plane anyway?
Half. How about half?
Half a cup.
Half as fast.
And he also reminds me that, yes, it was Bugs Bunny who comes out of his hole and says, I must have made a wrong turn at Albuquerque, which is probably the most flattering thing anyone says about Albuquerque.
I just looked it up here. Coach runs buses from O'Hare to General Mitchell. You can do it for $36, and they run pretty much every hour.
Oh, that's great to know.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Yeah.
That's
$36.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
I will gladly throw away that last piece of my ticket and jump on that bus.
So here's the thing. That bus is going to give you more space than the plane they put me on to get from Chicago to Milwaukee. And it was full.
Oh, yeah.
Full flight. And then, of course, you've got anarchy because the people in row 17
trying to get out.
Stand up as soon as you land. They're trying to push their way to the front of the plane. I'm like, first time? First time on a plane? Welcome. Happy to have you. We'll take a break here on Jen Gave It To You. Lots of stuff to get to this week, including How close is Jordan Love to being back out on the field? We've got Adam Schefter coming up at the bottom of the hour. We'll ask him if there's any news on that. How much can the Packers move the ball if Malik Willis is the guy under center? We'll get into that. And we've got Sophia Minner to talk about those Milwaukee Brewers whose magic number is down to 1. That's next.
Never miss out on a second of the show. Find Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. Sponsored by Celsius Essential Energy Drink.
We had an earlier accident northbound 43 in Ozaukee County just before Mequon Road. That has been cleared out of the way, and the delays have eased themselves out as well. Westbound 94, watch for delays from about 16th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound's going to be a bit tight, basically from Highway G to Highway 16. Then again from Brookfield Road to about Moreland, and then from the Zoo all the way to about 35th Street. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Sunny and warm, a high of 81 at the lake, 86 inland. Tonight, mainly clear, patchy fog, a low of 62 at the lake, 55 inland. Weather is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
It's the last homestand of the Brewers regular season. Be here when the crew take on the Mets, September 27th through the 29th. Get to the jam-packed series for Fan Appreciation Weekend. Get your seats at brewers.com/tickets.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to now.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you could use that money towards golf lessons to become a scratch golfer. Progressive cannot guarantee that you will ever become a scratch golfer. Scratch golfers are really, really good. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, and sure, you could put that money towards lessons, but if you can't hit the broadside of a barn and think you're going to become a scratch golfer, you're delusional. Sorry, just telling it like it is. Savings? Maybe. Scratch golfer? Don't hold your breath. Switch and see if you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates, not available in all states. It's universally accepted that golf is hard. Progressive cannot guarantee improved performance on the course.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
I feel so stuck.
The Veterans Crisis Line is here for you. Dial 988, then press 1 to call.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
And then you have Raj, who I didn't think he just didn't have the body type of a right tackle.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question. Who the hell are you talking about?
What's his name? Yash.
Raj?
Like, I was thinking, okay,
Who's Raj? You tell us, buddy.
On 94.5 ESPN.
End your summer on a high note with Great Midwest Bank. Turn your financial dreams into a reality. With Great Midwest Bank, your financial future is as bright as your summer days. Their personalized banking solutions are designed to help you reach your goals effortlessly. Join the community of satisfied customers who trust Great Midwest Bank, including me and my family. For all of their banking needs, visit greatmidwestbank.com to see what products Great Midwest Bank has for you.
The enzymes float you out, so you let go.
We're going to ask Adam Schefter what he's hearing about Jordan Love and when he might be back on the field, if the timetable has shifted at all. But, Chew, it seems like the general thought is that Malik Willis will be the guy this week when they take on the Titans. I know you guys talked about the familiarity there between the quarterback and the team and the opponent. Do you think that'll play a role this week? They will know, theoretically, more about Malik Willis, maybe even than the Packers will, since he was there for an extended period of time. You think that plays a role in the way they game plan for Green Bay?
Oh, yeah. And I think it'll be hostile, too, just because it's so fresh. I mean, even though he barely played in Tennessee, he still was a draft pick there that's been traded to a pretty good team. So my guess is it's going to be a pretty hostile environment, and they're going to know what he cannot do. And I said yesterday, they're not rushing for 261. I didn't realize, because I don't watch a lot of Tennessee Titans football, but Josh, he said their D-line's pretty solid.
Yes, Jeffrey Simmons is one of the best defensive tackles.
So
in
if they have to overload the box for whatever reason, they're going to do that, and they're going to know if Willis can't throw outside, can't move around in the pocket and throw, can't sit in the pocket and throw. They know this guy. So, yes, they have, I would say, a pretty sizable advantage. He's not going to be able to go 25 miles an hour this game. He's going to have to go 40. He's going to have to throw it, my guess, 25 to 30 times.
So when you talk about what the defense gives you, right, you always hear guys talk about, like, sometimes you got to play to what the defense gives you.
Mm-hmm.
What will the defense give him? Will they give him the downfield shots because they don't think he can make them consistently and accurately?
Yeah, they're going to force him to throw mid-level throws, like Brett back in the day. You know, every team knew Brett. If you baited him enough, he's going to throw it. He's going to throw it. Tampa 2 in 93, 94, he's throwing picks. And defensively, they just went into games and said, just be patient. He's going to give us opportunities to pick them off. Just be patient. Now, through years and years with Holmgren got it into his head. Like the Tampa 2, you can't go over the top with it. You have to be patient. Check down. Death by 1,000 cuts. That's how you have to win.
And that's how it seems Malik Willis will have to win based on what we have seen from him. Hilariously, when you said he will throw it to us, I immediately thought of Jay Cutler and Charles Woodson, right? Back in the day when he said, same old Jay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? That was a great line by
He's
Chuck,
going
by the
to
way.
have to throw intermediate routes.
The other thing I think they can exploit more than they even did is Malik Willis using his legs. He reached the fastest ball carrier speed of any quarterback.
Really?
Last week, yes. So I think he had like 30 or 40 rushing yards. If you can bump that up to get him closer to 7,500, more of those designed draws and kind of rollouts where he just keeps it, I think that's another way to replace some, because you're certainly going to not rush for as many.
But what they're going to do,
idea. Go ahead, Chew.
But what they're going to do is, my guess is what I would, I haven't studied the guy enough to know, but I would keep him in the pocket. Rush lanes, very disciplined. Don't let him get outside. Maybe spy him. If you're already up there with a run defender, anticipating a run, and it's a pass, then he becomes the spy. He's going to we'll see what, my guess is they're going to play man-to-man. That's what I would do. Because man-to-man's a lot tighter than zone, right? And if he's not a very accurate passer, we're going to see what happens.
My only concern with getting him outside of the pocket, to Josh's point, is if he goes down, if he gets hurt, what do you got? It's Clifford, right? Clifford is the backup QB.
We had Jason on yesterday, and he didn't really think this was an option, but do you keep Jordan Love in the bullpen and break glass in case of emergency?
Well, I guess it depends on if he's designated as out or not for the game, right, Joshy? Like if they put him on the injury report and have him as out.
From what I'm hearing, he's not playing.
Yeah, I don't think they would do that because in the situation where they have to pull the ripcord in case of emergency, if Jordan Love wasn't good enough to start, he's probably not good enough, likely with a lead.
Which is stupid, which is the dumbest thing ever, because I played sometimes when I was 85%, and the only reason I played because I was 85%, and I'm not disparaging, I won't even say the names, but I thought I was better at 85% than my backup was.
Sure.
You think Jordan Love at 90% is better than Malik Willis?
Yes.
Well, then what the hell wouldn't you put him in the bullpen?
Well,
Now,
what if he doesn't want to go out there?
That's the point. It's a different game. It's a different game.
What do
And
you
in
mean?
talking to Jason yesterday, there's no it's nowhere near what it was back in the day when I played. When I sat there and I'm like, I can't leave my guys hanging. I'm sorry. I'm 90. I can't do it. I can't. Now they don't care. Now it's just like.
Is it that they don't care, or they have more information? They're more
Probably more, but still, I was talking with Jason after the show, and I'm like, I couldn't play sports like that. I couldn't, where it was all about me and all I cared about the paycheck. Back then, the money was great, was nice, but Sundays were awesome. And I would have to be really hurt in order to stay off the field.
It sounds to me like you're buying the sentiment, the theory, the information that was coming out of Green Bay last week that Jordan was closer, and Rob Domofsky said it on our program on Monday, that Jordan was closer to go than no. Right? The Packers thought, that's what Rob Domofsky told us, that he was going to be able to play, or that he was close to being able to play. Ultimately did not, obviously, last week. It sounds like you think that might be the case as well.
I think there's outside influences that are saying pump the brakes. And I can tell you this, all right? The only way you get cleared is if it's, say, a 2 to 4. I'm not sure what the timeline was, Josh. They determined it was 3 to 6 or 2 to 4.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
the only way you're getting cleared before that 2 is to say, I can go, I'm fine, I'm good. Look I can do everything. That's the only way. McKenzie's not going to clear you if you're like, well, you know, when I do this, it kind of hurts a little bit. And he's not clearing you.
Right, he's conservative.
Yes. And he has to be, you know?
I think it's, for better or for worse, you would say for worse, Chewy, based on what you've said. It's much more of protecting an investment thing, and that's yourself and your health. And I don't think that was simply a factor for you guys. Now, a lot of it is the explosion of money simply.
Sure.
But now it's like you're thought of as you're making investments. It's like much more of a transactional thing than it was, I love football, I love my teammates, and I love winning. And that I think we can all bemoan that. But I just think that is now the reality of the modern NFL.
And I think if agents are influencing whether or not a player goes out on the field or not, it's because they have seen too much. They have seen guys, clients, maybe clients of other agents who have been, I love football, I love my team, put me back out on the field, It doesn't matter. And then there have been dire consequences.
Sure. But back to, the money not meeting as much. Jordan, your contract is $50 million guaranteed. How much more do you need? You get $150 million. That's why I couldn't do it. Most guys from my era would be like, I got $150 in the bank. I'll play all day long. What the hell do I care? They just want more and more and more. And the agent has a vested interest. Because if Jordan doesn't play after this deal, the agent doesn't make any money. I just couldn't do it. I'm sorry. I couldn't. If I was guaranteed $150 million, I'm playing every damn game that I could walk in, and I think guys from my era would do the same. Now, is that stupid? Probably.
I just don't know if Jordan Love has done anything during his time in Green Bay to not be given the benefit of the doubt. Right?
Sure.
Like if you're Jordan Love, I think he has been a good soldier at every turn. He has done everything that has been asked of him. He waited patiently. There was no drama. Maybe one time where he said, hey, if we're not starting, we want to move on. But beyond that, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt until he's back out there on the field, that the knee is bothering him and that he doesn't think he could get the job done given his current situation.
Would you have to let him get to 100% in order for him to play?
Close.
Would you be ticked if you were LaFleur?
Maybe.
Who has a vested interest as well.
Of course. But also, LaFleur, you just showed us last week you can do it. You have a little confidence that you can do it again, that you can tweak the game plan, that you can do things a little bit differently, that you can anticipate the defense, watching that film and approaching it a different way.
I can see that side of it because you got your win, right? We got the win that a lot of people thought they were going to lose.
And you said they needed.
That they needed.
During the stretch that Jordan is out.
So, but I don't know.
Gives them a little, is there more pressure or less pressure now? I think less. You just said it. You got the win.
Yes.
If the goal was, hey, just stay even.
Yeah, if he doesn't play this week and they're 1-2, they're fine. They're fine. You know what? Even at 0-3, I still think they're fine. Not ideal, but I still think they can dig themselves out of that.
Maybe we put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll. Is there more or less pressure on Matt LaFleur this week after they got the win last week? Maybe we don't say after they got the win, but just this week versus last week. 800-990-3776. We got to take a break. We have Adam Schefter coming up. Let's see what Adam has to say about the Jordan Love situation and what he anticipates happening in Green Bay this week when they take on the Titans. I mentioned my travel woes. You never have travel woes when you use AccuTrans. They are a veteran-owned business dedicated to providing unmatched corporate, personal, and event-related transportation that you will use again and again. From travel to weddings to group events, AccuTrans caters to every occasion. Booking is safe, easy, and dependable. You just visit their website, AccuTransGroup.com, to get a quote and book a reservation today. Look, guys, should I have called my friends at AccuTrans to give me a ride from O'Hare back to Milwaukee yesterday so I didn't have to sit on the tarmac for 45 minutes? I should have. And next time, I will. And you can too. AccuTransGroup.com for reliable and safe transportation. Adam Schefter next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Westbound 94 slowing down out of the Marquette interchange all the way to about Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound's got some pockets, heavy traffic, Highway G to Highway 16, then Highway F all the way past Barker Road, and then again from the Zoo all the way to about 35th Street. We've got some delays westbound 894 as well, coming out of the Mitchell interchange pretty much all the way to 68th Street. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, sunny and warm, a high of 81 at the lake, 86 inland. Tonight, mainly clear and patchy fog with a low of 62 at the lake, 55 inland. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee, packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
The Jen, Gabe, and Chewy podcast is sponsored by Celsius Energy Drink, and I am here to tell you it makes a huge difference in my mornings. With a unique blend of essential energy and key vitamins, Celsius is your partner to an active lifestyle. My favorite, the Peach Vibe. Learn more at Celsius.com and pick up Celsius Energy Drinks today.
Luther Gray is Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales at the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra. Luther, tell us about the orchestra's mission.
We provide over 135 shows a year, classical concerts, pop concerts, family and educational concerts, and also we do many performances throughout the state as well.
And James Imaging Systems provides their expertise to support the symphony.
Yes, James Imaging is there. It makes it so much easier for us, and they help keep us on schedule.
Luther, it seems that with captivating audiences with acclaimed musical performances, many would like an opportunity to get involved.
That is correct. Attending the concerts is great, giving is great, but the volunteerism is wonderful as well. We need all of that to be a successful, thriving orchestra.
What's the first step people can take to ensure that long-term success?
They can go to our website at mso.org.
That's mso.org. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
You've probably heard about employee stock ownership plans before, but what separates Fifth Third Bank from others when it comes to these plans? A succession plan that benefits business owners and employees. Full and partial sales, second stage transactions, repurchase obligation financing, and seller note refinancing, ESOPs can offer tax advantages, increased liquidity, employee incentives, and overall diversification of net worth to help your company plan for the future. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
The Island invites you to fall into golf with late season rounds at Sweetgrass or Sage Run. The vibrant fall colors and cooler temperatures make for great days out on the golf course. Fall golf rates run September 16th through the end of the 2024 season, with tee time starting at $75 and stay and play packages starting at $110. And submit your 2025 golf package request early to guarantee choice dates. Plan your fall golf adventure today at islandresortgolf.com.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
28 years on the Packers.
I would flat out cut his ass to send a message.
37 years playing in the NFL.
This is the best win in the Matt LaFleur era.
87 years covering the Packers.
And that's what happened in the fourth quarter. That's all. He has been really good.
And 46 years of being on ESPN.
I said to Herman Edwards one time, it's hard to win a game in the NFL. He said, John, it's hard to make a first down.
There's no place with more experience when it comes to talking about the green and gold. All day, every day. We are 94.5 ESPN. The Homer Hour with special guests every day from 5 to 6.
You still had a cigarette lighter in there?
No, we should all be dead.
An ashtray.
They have they have the station wagons where the people in the back were facing the other direction.
The Homer Hour with Homer.
The Packers got more money than God, so there's in the NFL there's no shortage. Yes, we need fundamentally in the NFL, anything Detroit does, you just assume you can do it better.
Weekdays from 5 to 6, right here on 94.5 ESPN and streaming live on YouTube. Everyone's go-to source for all NFL news.
Adam Schefter teased some big breaking news. Adam, you've told us about it. What do we got?
Adam's on the phone. Adam, you got more news? What do you got?
They're going with another move.
And here is the man who knows all, Adam Schefter.
And we're going to get right to some breaking news here that just came down. This tweet from Adam Schefter.
It's ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter.
Each side gets wins, right? They have Jordan Love under contract for the next 5 years. Let's get this deal in the books. Let's get it done the way we want, structure it. If you're Jordan Love, you're banking all that guaranteed money. You're set. You're set for life. So, again, I think both sides win.
Adam Schefter on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Also sponsored by Island Resort and Casino.
Always great to catch up with Adam Schefter. Good morning, Adam. How are you doing on this fine Wednesday?
Hello there, Jen and Stewie. What's going on?
Grinding it out, Adam.
Chewy's got vacation.
As usual, Chewy. As usual. I would expect nothing less.
He's got vacation looming, Adam, and I don't know about you, but when it's hanging around like at the end of the work week, he's starting to get a little senioritis.
Well, hold on. So the vacation is next week. Is that correct, Chewy? We will not be with you next week. Okay,
Yeah.
And where are we going on vacation?
We're going to Greece on a little cruise. But Adam, it's just like it's a Wednesday. We got pads. It's 90 out. It's just not fun. Let's just get to Sunday.
Yeah, well, hold on. My first question is: you can take vacation in football season?
He can really do whatever he wants.
Well, IR would be nice. You could put me on IR.
And are you going? Who are you going with on this cruise? Like a large group of people? Not a large group
just
of people?
a couple Florida friends. Obviously, the wife. It'd be fun. You know, I've never been to Greece. Have you been to Greece?
No, I've never been.
Okay, I love Greek food.
Oh, I think you'll have a great time. Like, where does the cruise go out of?
Athens. And I have no idea where we're going. 8 islands. I heard the islands are beautiful, though.
You're flying from wherever you are to Athens and then getting on a boat?
No, we're going to Istanbul. I'm a little... I've never... Have you been to Istanbul? Anyone been to Istanbul?
No, but I
Constantinople.
Constantinople, yeah, that too. Here's my question. You're a big guy. How big are you now, Chewy? 6'3"?
6'6", still. Well, probably 6'5".
So no one's gonna mess with you, but honestly, having you heard about stuff like in Turkey, like with Americans and everything like that, like do we consider that to be dangerous in any sort of way, or you're so big that the rules don't apply to you?
That I don't know. You're making me nervous, though.
You're really an ignorant traveler, aren't you?
I am.
Basically, he's going to throw some shorts in a bag and he's going to get on a plane.
And if I don't, my theory is, Adam, if I don't have it, then you just buy it there.
Hold on. Didn't I hear something recently? I'm going to do a Google search as we go through this interview. But didn't I hear Americans? I'm not making this up. Americans shouldn't be traveling to Turkey.
Oh gosh.
This is not the information he thought we would be getting from Adam Schefter this morning. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay, hold on. August 19th, 2024. We advise exercise a high degree of caution in Turkey due to the threat of terrorism. I'm just like...
I guess I'm staying.
Okay. Here it is.
This took a wild turn, folks.
The U.S. State Department currently recommends U.S. citizens exercise increased caution when traveling to Turkey due to terrorism and arbitrary detentions. Chewy, do not bring any chewables with you. Don't bring any chewies with you, Chewy, okay?
We've already had that discussion. Yes.
Okay. Don't bring any chewies with you.
I told my wife to Google Brittany Griner.
Way to bring it back to sports, big guy.
Yeah, by the way, before we move on to sport, did I diminish your excitement at all for your trip?
Yeah, I just soiled myself. Yes, you did. I don't want to go now.
Well, I've done my job today. Thanks for having me today, and we'll talk to you next week, Jen.
Again, when we talk about news and information from Adam Schefter, that ain't it. That's not what we were expecting. International.
Holmgren would always say, "Don't play scared." I'm scared.
International travel advisories.
I'm now the source on international travel advisories. I never would have thought that before.
Exactly. Adam, we do want to talk about Jordan Love. Are you hearing anything different from his camp or anywhere else about the timeline for when he might return?
You know, it'll be interesting today to see how they treat it, right? Like, I'm going to guess that they list him as limited in practice. That's going to be my early guess, okay? And my guess is he'll be limited this week. They'll list him as questionable, and he won't play. Now, again, the week hasn't happened, so maybe he's feeling much better, and maybe they feel like they're comfortable trotting him out there. I think in the end, as I've been told all along, and again, he could have had dramatic healing over the weekend. I don't know that. He could be feeling a lot better this week. I don't know that. But initially, I was told from the jump, 3 to 4 weeks. I was told initially that the games that were most likely for him to come back were either the Vikings in week 4 or the Rams in week 5. So again, I continue to believe that will be the case until it's not. And that's what we'll be tracking. But I think that they'll keep it alive this week. I think they'll foster some hope he could go. And my guess, and I want to be very clear, my guess is that he won't play on Sunday and that he'll be back either the following week or the week after.
Adam, how much do agents influence their clients when it comes to play or not to play?
Yeah, I don't think as much as you think. I think they have a voice, and I think that they weigh in, but ultimately players play. Again, here's what I would do. I would say to you, Chewy, you played a long time. Did your agents have a voice and advise you on certain times in your career when to play or when not to play?
Never.
Let me ask you that.
Never. If I wasn't in a contract year, Adam, and I was under a 3-year deal during the season in a non-contract year, maybe talk to my agent once a year.
Yep.
Not very much.
Okay. But I think everybody's different, right?
Sure.
And it depends on your contractual situation, your injury history, the kind of guy you are or not. So I think it's always different. That's great that you weren't that way. And I don't think Jordan Love's agent is getting on the phone with him and saying, don't play this weekend. I think, obviously, the decision belongs to Jordan Love and the Packers medical staff. Do I think at some point in time that Jordan Love will speak to his agent? Probably. Do I think the agent will say, be smart and careful? Yes. Do I think Jordan Love's going to do what he wants? Absolutely.
Well, let's transition right to this. What's going to happen with Tua?
Well, in that case, the agent is one of many voices. You know, I was with Teddy Bruschi over the weekend, and I said this to a couple of our people, and I really believe this to be true. Teddy is such a great guy, so unique, so thoughtful, and when he was talking about Tua over the weekend and the angles at which he was viewing that situation, he was talking about the fact that how he had a stroke and there are all these people telling him what to do, and his wife was saying, you're not playing anymore, and his brother saying, Teddy, you're a football player. This is what you've always done. You got to get back out there. And there were medical people saying one thing and family members saying another, and doctors, as he pointed out on the show, said, doctors, he said, with doctors, you operate in the gray. There's no black and white ever. They don't ever say, okay, you need to retire or you need to keep playing. It's safe. They say, here's the deal. You've got this steel box in your heart and, you can continue on, but you have to be careful. And if there's a hit the right way, it could be catastrophic, but the chances and ultimately the decision belongs to you. Like, you think about anybody's experiences with a doctor. It never seems black or white. There's always more information. It's never clear. Teddy was going on and on about this, and it made me realize that Teddy has become our show's version of Tom Jackson, who was incredible on air, incredible off the air. They played the same position, and I think that's kind of the role that Teddy has evolved into. And I don't recall Teddy saying to me, and I knew Teddy's agent at the time, a guy by the name of Brad Blank. I don't think
Brad.
Teddy's.
Yep.
Yeah, Boston guy,
yeah,
right?
Sure, yeah.
I don't think that Brad weighed in. I don't think Tua's guy, will demand or order one thing or another. He may say, "Hey, Tua, I feel this way or I feel that way," but there are voices that are more meaningful and matter more. Doctors, wife, parents, and they will have their own opinions that Tua will factor in. Now, again, going into these meetings with neurologists prior to him being placed on the injured reserve list, sidelining him for a minimum of 4 games, my strong belief is he wants to keep playing. That's what he's wanted to do. Now, whether he actually does that, we'll see. He's got time to sift through this, have conversations with all these people to figure out what's best for him. But yes, he absolutely, in my mind, would like to keep playing, and we'll see how they handle the situation.
How much of a say does the team actually have in that, Adam? And this is one of those weird nebulous areas. It is not like breaking your throwing hand or something like that, where you can say you cannot do the job, therefore we can step in and say we need to go in a different direction. The concussion thing is a little tougher to nail down. Can the team say, and again, I know they did because they put him on IR yesterday, but long term, I'm talking about, can they say, unfortunately, we no longer believe you can do the job that we have hired you to do? Is there anything in there where the team has some sort of recourse?
Well, look, I think it's distasteful to talk about it immediately. I think now that he's on IR, now that he's visited with neurologists, now that a little time has gone by, I think that you can bring it back to money, okay? And there's a lot of money involved in this particular case. If doctors say to Tua, we can't clear you, and he decides to retire, he collects all his money. If doctors say you're cleared to play, you're okay to go out there, and he decides to retire, he forfeits his money, right? So and we're not talking about, an insignificant amount of money. The remaining balance is something like $126 million. So let's obviously be aware that in some small way that I would think that has to be factored in. Ultimately, his health is by far going away the most important thing, but money usually is a part of people's decisions in life, right?
Yeah.
So I think the team will follow the line, rightfully, that we want you to do what you believe is best for you, and we're here to support you in whatever way we can, whatever that is. And let's see what he decides.
Adam, give me a couple of your biggest surprises, 2-0 or 0-2 in the league so far.
Well, I think we just look at all the 2-0s and 0-2s, and I think that those are the ones that I'm just looking at right now, right? The Ravens, 0-2. The Bengals, 0-2. The Vikings, 2-0. The Saints, 2-0. The Rams, 0-2. The Buccaneers, 2-0. The Steelers, 2-0. The Chargers, 2-0. The Texans, 2-0. We'd expect the Jaguars, 0-2. The Colts, 0-2. Titans, 0-2. Panthers, 0-2. We'd expect that. So, some teams in there. The Saints,
that's the big one, Adam. I can't believe in the way they won, in the way they pounded Dallas. Are they for real?
Well, here's what's going on there in my mind. They made a move this offseason that when they did it, I knew that they would be better. They hired Clint Kubiak, another disciple of the Shanahan tree. Just like Matt LaFleur, just like Sean McVay, just like Kyle Shanahan. Clint Kubiak, who I remember as a little boy at Broncos training camp. His father, Gary, was the offensive coordinator Broncos for the very first NFL team that I ever covered. Gary was such a pro, went on to become the head coach of the Houston Texans. Clint was his son. He went on to coach in San Francisco under Kyle, and they hired him. And I thought to myself, okay, that's going to be a great hire. And already they've been incredible early on. Like, you look at that offense and what they've done, and it's incredible. Through 2 games, they have totaled 91 points compared to the 36 that they scored all last season. They are the only team since the 1970 merger, other than the 2009 Saints team that won a Super Bowl, to score at least 90-plus points in their first 2 games of the season. That Saints team back in 2009 scored 93. This one's 91. And, he's turned Derek Carr into an early season MVP for whatever that's worth. So, Clint Kubiak's going to get a lot of credit, just like Bobby Slowick last year, another former 49ers assistant, another Shanahan tree disciple, went on to become the Texans offensive coordinator. And what did the Texans offense do last year? And I know they had C.J. Stroud, but I believe Bobby Slowick was instrumental in all of that as well.
Last thing for you, Adam, is there any market for, I almost said Kyler Murray. Good grief, Jen. Bryce Young, thank you. Obviously, that situation is he's just got benched, and you're going to see Andy Dalton out there. Is there any market for him? Some of these teams that might be looking for a quarterback, could you see him being traded? He's a depressed asset right now, but is there any talk of that around the league?
Yeah, I think that there will be interest from teams, but I don't believe that Carolina is going to be interested in trading him right now. Like, again, you're going to trade him for draft picks, right? A draft pick or draft picks. And the truth of the matter is that pick or picks will be for the 25 draft. So you can trade Bryce Young after the season and get the same draft pick haul and have him be there in the event that they need to turn to him again, in the event that somehow he shows signs of a turnaround, which nobody expects. I don't think that's practically realistic. I agree, but you never know. And they can get those picks later on. Now, if some team is desperate enough and feels like Bryce Young, who's been awful the first 2 games, the first 18 games of his career, is an answer, and they're willing to overpay, do I think Carolina would be interested? Sure, absolutely. Do I think there's going to be a team that overpays in season? No, which means that I think Carolina winds up holding on to him. And I think we revisit that very scenario after the season. And ultimately, I think he does get traded, but just not in season.
All right, Adam, good stuff from you this morning. We appreciate you, and we will talk to you again very soon.
Chewy, let me say this. If you do get detained in Turkey, I really enjoyed our time together. I enjoyed working with you and getting to know you. It's been a great pleasure and honor of mine. And, if it doesn't work out there and you don't make it back, you're detained there, our thoughts are with you. I just want you to know that. Okay?
Adam, I will haunt you. I will haunt you the rest of your life.
The list of people that you will haunt.
He's number 1.
I was going to say, it's getting longer.
Here's the thing, Jen. I'm just telling you right now. Chewy's getting on that plane. He's going to be thinking of me over the weekend.
Oh, of course I am.
All right, Keith Urban.
Right?
Have a good one, Adam. We'll talk to you again soon.
Safe travels, Chewy.
Thank you.
That's your favorite song, Chew. That one where he says, "Take your cat and leave my sweater. You'll think of me." I know you love that one. Joshy, who brings us Adam Schefter each and every week here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy?
Resort and Casino is a premier resort destination, the largest north of Milwaukee, with everything you like to do in one awesome location. Visit islandresortandcasino.com and book your total experience today.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, brochachos? Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouth-watering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
Gear up for October baseball. Brewers postseason tickets go on sale on September 20th. Clear your schedule, claim your spot, and be here for a Brewers postseason run you don't want to miss at Brewers.com.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. And as I tried writing this radio commercial on my phone, that darn autocorrect always seemed to give me fits. Which got me thinking, if you're looking for a stress-free, painless, wow, that was easy home mortgage process, give Great Midwest Bank a try. Find an experienced loan officer at greatmidwestbank.com to guide you to a state of banquility. Yeah, autocorrect would have never caught that one. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Yeah, welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey football fans, with BetMGM's Second Chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to gamble responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. This U.S. promotional offer not available in Mississippi, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like Bear Dynasty interior paint, their most durable one-coat hide paint ever. From a team color statement wall to a fan cave, complete with a mural honoring Nick Saban's 17-year dynasty.
Hey, I like that idea.
Nothing beats Bear Dynasty interior paint. It's everything you need all in one can.
Defend your game time with Bear and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Valid only when tinted to colors from the Bear Dynasty and Marquee Interior one-coat hide color collection.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football. It's a pepper thing.
Milwaukee College Prep, dedicated to closing the opportunity gap for children in Milwaukee, redefining what's educationally possible so more children can pursue their dreams. Join me, Good Karma Brand's founder CEO Craig Karmazin, and Milwaukee College Prep Thursday, October 17th, and take a stand in closing the opportunity gap for Milwaukee scholars. Your support means quality education accessible to over 2,000 scholars in Milwaukee's most challenged communities. Milwaukee College Prep is closing the opportunity gap. To learn more and purchase tickets, go to MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com and click support.
Guys, let's be honest. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Oak Creek on Howell Road, just south of Putes Road. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week, even Sundays. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Unbelievable that they ran all over this vaunted defense, this elite defense.
What Kool-Aid? Why? It was poop Kool-Aid. And we gobbled it down.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Don't forget, we've got Sophia Minard hanging out with us in the next hour to talk about your Milwaukee Brewers, who have the opportunity to clinch today, even before they play. Joshy, am I right on that the Cubs play this afternoon, and if the Cubs lose again, they lost last night to the A's, Brewers lock up the division, which we know is just a formality at this point.
That is correct, Jen. The Brewers' magic number is 1. And today at 1:20 p.m., the Chicago Cubs will face the Oakland Athletics if the Cubs do lose that game, the Brewers will have clinched before first pitch today.
I mean, it's nice, but do people really care?
Yes.
They do.
Yes.
Like when we won our division, I mean, it was big the first time. I think 93 was the first year, but after that, it was just like, yeah, great.
It's a checkpoint. You know when you were playing Mario Kart?
Not really.
Grand Theft Auto?
Sure.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of other racing games. What do we always say? Racing USA or Driving USA or whatever it was?
USA, that's more true.
You got to hit the checkpoint before you can hit the finish line.
Yeah.
Winning the division for the Brewers is a checkpoint. So you celebrate, and I think they're going to pop champagne. I don't know how it works today with if it happens before the game. They're certainly not popping bubbly before the game.
I also think, like, Chewy, your checkpoints were different. Yours was like, did we get a 10-win season, or was it like a winning record? Winning the division for you guys became like a formality.
Yeah, it was just like done deal.
It has become in recent history a formality for the Brewers with how successful they've been. But your expectations were always Super Bowl. That isn't always the same for the Brewers. So I do think it is important. It does feel like it's lost a little bit of its luster after.
Well, it should. That's a good thing, though.
Yes, because
that's a very good thing.
I stopped looking, even caring about division after it was like, hey, a bye's in play.
Yes.
The best team in the National League is in play. No, that's kind of faded, but it doesn't make the division like more important to me, because I've thought that for pretty much since like the first 2 months of the season, this is a playoff team no matter what happens mostly through the rest of the season.
Still 4 games back of the Phillies in the win and loss column. Of course, we're trying to chase down the Phillies, who they are currently playing. A missed opportunity last night, of course, obviously. But you want to get hot, right? Like, I'm looking at the rundown for Around the Horn today, and they want to talk about the Orioles and how the Orioles are kind of clunking their way to the finish line here. We're in a very good position, and how, now they're not. And you're glad that the Brewers are not that team. But I also think that, like, once you capture the division, it's going to be up to Pat Murphy and company to maintain that level of focus, right? Because to Chewy's point about senioritis, man, he's got vacation looming. The Brewers have been working towards being a playoff team all season long. That may happen officially today, but you still have to finish the series with the Phillies, and you still have some important series here that it feels like they need to make sure that they can still lock in and, turn in a very good performance down the stretch here.
That Mets, the final series is going to be huge, I think, against the Mets, because the Mets are right in it, too.
I think you want to see, and the Brewers aren't winning at the clip they were maybe like 2 months ago, but you want to see them roll off a few games in a row here and kind of like show what we saw earlier in the season. Because, they've been about a 500 baseball team the past week, which is good enough to get you in the playoffs right now, but you want to start reeling off some big ones.
Still have the best run differential, don't they?
Yes.
In the
yes,
league?
they do.
All right, that's something to hang your hat on. We have to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. So much more to come in the second hour. Stick around.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Things still backing up along southbound 41 from Appleton Avenue all the way down to about Capitol Drive. Eastbound 94 slowing down through the construction zones from Elmhurst Road all the way through the Highway 16 area. Then back on the brakes coming out of the zoo interchange to 35th. Westbound's going to be slow from 25th Street to Hawley Road, and then again from the zoo into Waukesha County. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, sunny and warm, a high of 81 at the lakefront, 86 inland. Then tonight, mainly clear, patchy fog with a low of 62 at the lake, 55 inland. Weather is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The Island invites you to fall into golf with late season rounds at Sweetgrass or Sage Run. The vibrant fall colors and cooler temperatures make for great days out on the golf course. Fall golf rates run September 16th through the end of the 2024 season, with tee time starting at $75 and stay and play packages starting at $110. And submit your 2025 golf package requests early to guarantee choice dates. Plan your fall golf adventure today at islandresortgolf.com.
Are you looking for a reliable ride? I've got you covered. It's ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta. I use Accutrans Group for my private transportation needs during the college football season. Accutrans is a veteran-owned business dedicated to providing unmatched corporate, personal, and event-related transportation that you will use again and again. From corporate travel and weddings to group events, Accutrans Group caters to every occasion. Booking is easy, safe, and dependable. Visit AccuTransGroup.com to get a quote or to book a reservation today for reliable and safe transportation.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune into Kyle Bruston Nortman from 2 to 5 every day. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
My son got yelled at last night because everyone walks down here, and when I have to go out to the mailbox or something, I got to look both ways to make sure no one's coming because I don't want to talk to anybody.
Hey, Ray. How you doing? Good. You know that guy? He works at the restaurant Moho in your hotel. The W Hotel.
You guys were talking about cars.
Yeah.
Nope.
I just assumed you were
Even
trying
more
to avoid
dangerous.
getting hit by
People.
a truck.
I think he'd rather get hit by the truck than probably talk to his neighbors.
Why didn't you say hello to him? You know him. I know. He wanted to do a stop and chat. I didn't want to do a stop and chat. Stop and chat? Where do you come up with these things, stop and chat? He wanted to stop and chat with me, and I don't know him well enough for a stop and chat.
Is that true, Chew? Would you rather get hit by a truck than talk to your neighbors?
How hard?
Like a 3-day hospital stay.
I mean, if you don't look, you can get caught with 3 people, and then you're there for 20 minutes.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamora. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth.
If you missed any of Adam Schefter's appearance here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, you can find it on Wisconsin On Demand or wherever you get your podcast. Adam, very good on the Jordan Love situation on whether or not he may come back early from this knee injury. So check that out wherever you get your podcasts. One of the other situations the Packers find themselves in is they have a new kicker. And we all watched, sometimes with bated breath, sometimes we prayed, like the head coach, when Anders Carlson was out there. But Narveson has been the new guy, and they were excited about him. They thought this guy is going to change things up at the position. Chewy, he's been a little uninspiring. There have been some moments here where you're going, really? Okay. And yesterday, Matt LaFleur was asked about the patience that is needed with the kicker. It sounded somewhat familiar. I feel like, weren't we here last year, the year before? Take a listen to Matt LaFleur talking about Narveson's missed field goals.
Well, it's a better question for Goody, but from my perspective, I'd say pretty patient. I like his mentality. I like his talent. And there's going to be some ups and downs, and hopefully there's more ups and downs. So I do think he's done a pretty nice job. I know he's got to make that field goal. He knows it. We all know it. But I'm confident that if he's in that situation again, he'll hit it.
I don't understand the Goody part. Is he throwing him under the bus? I mean, he's the head coach. Does Goody control special teams? I mean, he missed 2 40-somethings in both games, right?
43.
That's not great. I mean, I'm fine with him. My biggest surprise of the season so far is how many teams are deciding just to kick the ball out of the end zone and give it to him at the 30. I thought this would be more kickoffs in play, trying to pin them inside of the 30. And that's not really the case. So I don't think this is what the NFL intended. Which is kind of strange
they were trying to take the boring play away.
Yes.
And you're saying that they just found a new way to make it boring.
I'm surprised how many teams are just deferring, give it to him at the 30.
Let me ask you this. If Narveson for his career misses 1 field goal every game, is that good or bad?
No, that's bad.
Right. If he misses 1 of 4 every game, that's bad.
That's going to lose you 1 game, maybe 2. When you start playing these tougher teams, when they go on that stretch.
Sure.
That's not great. I would have never got rid of Joseph. Joseph, to me, just, he missed some, but to me, he looked more confident than Carlson. Carlson looked like a young kid that was kind of deer in the headlights and hasn't figured it out yet. Now, there's been a lot of kickers that stunk early in their career and then gotten better over the years. Not saying they were great, but they were a functional kicker. Yeah, you got to make 43-yarders. You have to.
So 1 of 4, obviously, that you miss puts you at a 75% clip, which is worse than Anders Carlson's time in Green Bay, where he was an 81+% field goal kicker. So you got to pick it up, right? Like, we all know that you got to make those. Are you giving him a leash because it's the first couple weeks of the season and, shaking off the rust, shaking off the nerves? He'll get more confident as the season goes on. But to your point, you got to have a good field goal kicker, and we see it all the time. But the most recent example, of course, is what you saw with the Bengals and the Chiefs last week, right? Where you drive yourself into position to win the game. You put Butker out there and you expect him to split the uprights for the victory. Like, you need a guy who you feel confident putting out there in those situations.
Well, the problem is this: kicking in Green Bay doesn't get easier. It doesn't get any easier. Matter of fact, it gets a lot tougher. Because you're kicking in the cold, the ball takes on a different personality. Probably going to be windier. The weather stinks. So, if he's missing one a game now, that's not great, Bob.
I like your question about Goody, though, because this to me is the silos. Mm-hmm. It's you're picking the ingredients, I'm making the food. And it feels like as long as that is the way that this organization chooses to do things, there's going to be a little tension there. Joshy, am I wrong in picking up a little tension in you're making the call on these guys and I just got to deal with them?
This is the second time in recent memory that Matt LaFleur has kind of distanced himself from some of the personnel decisions that have happened. And while being literally true, he does not determine who gets added to the Packers roster or not. You would want your guys to not be pointing the finger at one another. Now, this isn't the gravest of actions, but for his first comments to be, well, that's a Goody question, or that's about Goody, kind of feels like he wants us all to know that I didn't pick this kicker. I didn't pick any of these kickers. This is just the kicker I've been given.
All right, 2 things here. Does LaFleur have vomit mouth? He just kind of blah things sometimes. Like when you are in
front of the microphone, not at all. I find him to be so. I get frustrated listening to him because I don't think he tells us anything.
No, but I'm saying from the standpoint when you are in a meeting with the game day crew the night before and you say something like you did with the pray.
Sure.
You can't say that. You can think it, but you can't say it out loud. And like this Goody thing. Like there was really no need to inject that into the conversation. And what I'm moving toward, if LaFleur, and he's a hell of a coach, I'll give him his props. But the more and more success he has, I could seriously see him going the Holmgren route.
Which is?
I want more power. I want more personnel. I'm not going to get it here as long as the silos are in place. That was the whole thing with Holmgren. Holmgren wanted more control of his team. And what did Parcells back in the day about the groceries? If you're going to cook the meal, at least let me buy the groceries. I don't know.
Wait, are you thinking that like at some point he's going to say, I'm taking my talents elsewhere?
Or someone's got to go. Andy Reid did it to John Dorsey.
Such a good job being the head coach of the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, but these guys are ego and power hungry. Like Andy Reid did it to John Dorsey in Kansas City, ran him out of town. And I didn't think Andy would ever do that in a million years. And I know John Dorsey's the one that worked me out before the combine. And John was a hell of a GM.
So what is that about?
He did a nice job there in Kansas City because he was part of the whole Mahomes draft stuff.
Is that about protecting a legacy? Is that about,
Power
this?
hungry.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, so hear me out. Like, you're trying to create a narrative. You're trying to create a legacy. You're trying to, let people know who you are. And the more success you have, the more expectations go up. And then you start saying, I don't have control over all of the things that affect my legacy, that affect my paycheck, that affect all of these other things. And is that what it is? You just go, I want more control.
I think it's power, and I want more pats on the back. I mean, these guys, and I've been around a lot of them, have massive egos. I'm saying massive, like head through the door type egos.
You're talking head coaches and GMs, though, right?
Players to a certain extent, the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the battle. When we were at the top of our game and the top of our years. There was a battle between Mike and Brett. I'm more important. No, I am. No, I am. No, I am. And there was that battle. I mean, because if you look back, Jen, Ron Wolf was retiring in what, 2 years? Before Holmgren left or after Holmgren left? I mean, why wouldn't he just turn the reins over and say, okay, here you go. Give us one more year, and then I'll give it to you. I don't know. Just I do know this. Egos are just massive.
So the thing that stood out, Joshy, was, of course, him starting the response about Narveson with you kind of have to ask Goody. That's a Goody question, or you have to ask Goody. Is your take off that Matt LaFleur feels like, I'm not controlling all of the things that are affecting my record and my legacy. And yes, we won that game, this past one. I lost the first one. And if this starts to affect my ability to win and the team's ability to win, I'm going to let people know.
Yeah, I think it's a level of frustration, because if we've asked Jason about this multiple times in different ways of asking pretty much the same question. And it seems like the impression we all have right now through the information we've been able to gather is Goody doesn't really care all that much what Matt LaFleur wants or has to say about personnel decisions. It seems like maybe he'll give him some space in the room, but when it comes down to decisions, Matt LaFleur really has no bearing either which way. Brian Gutekunst makes the decisions, and Matt LaFleur deals with them. It seems like we spend a lot of time talking about this when the right way to do this is just two guys collaborating for the success of one another.
Sure.
And for whatever reason, maybe Goody's interpersonal skills aren't good enough that he
Which we have heard before.
Right. Famously, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but most GMs are like that, though.
Yeah.
Ron was the same. Ron wasn't warm and fuzzy. Ted Thompson definitely wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, especially the guy
Goody's
who learned
really
at the
not.
foot of them.
But again, I have said this before when we have talked about this. Maybe that's a byproduct of the job, guys.
Yeah.
Maybe you do distance yourself because when you have to cut a guy or you have to move on from a guy, you don't want to have had a warm and fuzzy, emotionally invested relationship with them.
And the thing that's interesting is Matt LaFleur has played that card with, I'm not making these decisions about you when it comes to how much you're getting paid, the contract you're getting. He plays both sides of the card because that's not me, that's them, will be a benefit to him in the locker room. But then when it comes to, hey, your guy isn't doing what he's supposed to, it's like, well, I didn't make the decision anyway.
We've got some reaction rolling in on the YouTube page about this, just talking about Goody and Matt LaFleur and how they work together or don't work together to create the roster. Jason weighing in saying DeGuara was a Matt LaFleur pick. Goody picked him because Matt wanted him. Goody's a rock star at player evaluation. And then Alan says, Goody looks at who he thinks can play, while Matt LaFleur looks at who specifically fits in his system. It's not right, it's not wrong, but coach should get more say. Maybe the coach should get more say, but also you talk about the best coaches in the league change their scheme to fit their personnel. And then you hope that as it evolves, you get more players in there who fit better in there.
I think just as coaches, I mean, you take Pete Carroll and John Schneider in Seattle for years, and then you take Andy, and I don't even know who the GM is there now. The GM is who?
Brett Veach?
Yeah, the GM is subservient to the head coach. Like in Seattle, and they worked well together, Pete Carroll and John Schneider. John, former Green Bay guy, great guy. But Pete made the final decisions. Andy Reid, final decisions.
Right.
Bill Belichick had a GM. Bill Belichick, final decisions. I'm just saying coaches, when they get success and that's where they want to go to. I think the days of a head coach being the head coach and GM is over. That's never going to work.
Sure.
But certainly a GM that works under the head coach.
Well, isn't famously that's what led to Bill O'Brien's undoing in Houston? Wasn't that he wanted to be the coach and the GM, and it was like
they gave it to him.
And they gave it to him, and he was no good at player evaluation.
You can't do it. It's just there's not enough hours in the day to be the GM and the head coach. There is just not enough.
But if you're Matt LaFleur and you're looking around the league, and look, I think our pal Brad Nortman put Matt LaFleur in his top 5 of coaches in the league right now. If you're looking around the league and there's a perception that you are a top insert number here coach in the league, 10, 5, whatever it is, maybe Matt LaFleur thinks he has earned the right to have more say in personnel. And look, we're talking about the kicker right now. It's just kind of a launch pad for this conversation because Matt LaFleur answered the question the way that he did. The kicker probably doesn't affect all of these other things, right? When you're looking for a guard on the offensive line, you're also keeping in mind who you've got at tackle and who you've got at center and how that unit works together. The kicker is more independent than that. But still, it is interesting that Matt LaFleur gave us a peek inside his psyche by deferring to Goody when it comes to the new kicker's struggles on the field.
It kind of goes back to what we were talking about in the first segment about airlines and things like that. Hey, not my fault. I didn't take them. You know, hey, not my deal. I'm doing my deal. I'm the one that got him in field goal range. Hey, I'd like to pick the kicker. Just know, I just didn't see a need for it. I'd really like to know deep down what their relationship is.
Professional.
Yeah, I was going to say coworkers.
Because I can tell you this, Mike and Ron's relationship changed from 92 to when Mike left. It just did. I could tell you some stuff, but I won't.
AC and Tosa weighing in saying coach and GM should always collaborate, but if it's one or the other, I want LaFleur making the decision. Petey Pablo weighing in saying the way San Francisco is doing it is the best. They were hired as a tandem. They work as a tandem. 800-990-3776. Your reaction to Matt LaFleur saying, talk to Goody, when asked about the patience that they will have with the new kicker. Lots of stuff to still get to this morning. Have you seen this tax, this talent fee that Tennessee is adding to its ticket prices? We'll get into that when we get back on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Never miss out on a second of the show. Find Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. Sponsored by Celsius Essential Energy Drink.
Dealing with an accident. Northbound 4394, right on the off-ramp to Beecher. We got an accident there, so watch for that. Delays are already stretching all the way back to the Mitchell Interchange. Southbound on 43, backing up from about Bender Road all the way down to Capitol Drive. Southbound 41 is also heavy from Appleton Avenue down to Hampton. Westbound 94, just a bit heavy from 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard, and then from the Zoo to the county line. Eastbound's backed up a bit through the construction zone from before Highway G all the way to Highway 16. Back on the brakes from about 84th Street to 35th Street. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, sunny and warm, a high of 81 at the lakefront, 86 inland. Tonight, mainly clear and patchy fog, a low of 62 at the lakefront, 55 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
Gear up for October baseball. Brewers postseason tickets go on sale on September 20th. Clear your schedule, claim your spot, and be here for a Brewers postseason run you don't want to miss at Brewers.com.
Seriously injured? Make one call. That's all.
Finally, warmer weather, green grass, birds chirping. Don't spend your weekend surrounded by all that junk. Get your free, no obligation, same-day estimate from Two Men and a Junk Truck. You'll restore your sanity and reclaim your space when Two Men and a Junk Truck pulls in your driveway. Visit twomenandajuncktruck.com for your free, no obligation estimate today.
Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
$1 million. That's big, really big. This September, Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is handing out a cool million, and you've got a shot at winning your share. The big $1 million giveaway is here. Just play with your rewards card and you're entered to win. Couldn't be easier and couldn't be bigger. No wonder it's called the Big One. For more details, visit paysbig.com/big one. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Gabe Neitzel here. I know you've already heard me talking about how Mentality has helped me over the years, but there are others like me. Jason has been using Mentality for a while now and is loving the results.
I have gotten a handful of friends, probably a couple dozen, especially those that are closer to my age, maybe even a little bit older, because I just tell them, you got to check this out. Do not wait any longer. Just go and admit it. Yep, you're at an age where things are slowing down. I promise you, you're not going to regret it, and that's truly what I get. I'll get a phone call after, like, man, I feel like a kid at Chuck E. Cheese right now.
Learn more today at lowtusa.com.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I'm going to go with the corn dog, the old corn dog. The corn dog for the
pierogies
birthday.
and borscht all day long.
That's just crazy. Nobody likes borscht, let alone on their
it's
birthday.
so good. It's the only thing that makes my mouth water, other than my wife.
On 94.5 ESPN.
You've heard me talk about Professional Construction Inc. over the years. We've enjoyed having their team help us with home projects, redoing our basement and things like that. And if you find yourself in that space, needing a remodel, maybe a new home, PCI is here for you. They believe in building relationships, and congratulations to them on 20 years in the business. You don't stick around for 20 years, guys, if you're not doing exceptional work. You can learn more about PCI at professionalconstructioninc.com. That's professionalconstructioninc.com.
So watch it rise in a weightless world, yeah.
So, Tennessee, I think, is in front of something really cool. Not necessarily cool for your pocketbook, but cool from a thinking outside the box perspective. There is only so much money to go around, Shu, okay? Mm-hmm. We have talked about this with the college football situation as NIL takes over and teams are having to figure out how to not only retain talent, but get new talent in, and everybody has a price tag at this point. You want 4 stars, you want 5 stars, pony up the dough. Go to the bank. Cha-ching. So Tennessee yesterday announces that they will be implementing a talent fee, attaching it to all of the tickets that are sold for Neyland Stadium. I think it's next year, obviously. I don't think it starts immediately, but I think it starts next year. The caveat is this. The antitrust case has to go through. There has to be a settlement, because the antitrust case means that programs and universities right now cannot directly pay athletes. Mm-hmm. But if the antitrust case gets settled, that would open the door for them to be able to pay the athletes. They are saying, Chu, that they are going to increase ticket prices by 10%, and that money is going to go directly to buying athletes, getting athletes, paying athletes. You like that?
No. I like the fact that they're doing it and the athletes should be paid, but this thing needs to be capped. Otherwise, it's not going to be fair. You know, because my guess is, well, you're in the college space. I don't think Tennessee people would have a problem with it as long as they win football games. Mm-hmm. But I don't think other schools would probably. I mean, people go crazy here when they raise Packer tickets.
Mm-hmm. But every couple of years they sell stock and everybody runs to the ATM to take out the money to do that.
I just think it needs to be capped in some sort of way. And if they're not, in Wisconsin here, you got to either pick up your game and start really, really paying these players if you want to get them to come here, or you're going to be mediocre. You know, because I can tell you, a school like BC, they ain't paying crap.
Well, they're paying something.
They're paying something,
they're in the ACC,
but they're not going to
pay
massive amounts of money. I just think this system, which is it's not great, but it just needs to be fixed. I think there needs to be a
salary cap,
and I think they need to get control of the transfer portal. You know, one transfer, that's it. You can't go ungale. You can't go from school to school to school to school, because it's not fair. I don't know. I just don't think it's fair for, you know, your Mountain West schools or, you know, your Wyoming and North Dakota states to have their rosters pilfered to move up. You see what I'm saying?
Sure, but again, going back to the money element, Chew, because there's only so much money to go around. There is donor fatigue, right? Because every time they turn around, the program is coming to them saying, we need more money, we need more money, we need more money. And they use the rivalries and say, so-and-so, so Tennessee, I don't even know who, for instance, they're playing Oklahoma this weekend. Oklahoma is paying X amount of money for this player. We need the money. We don't have it. And donors are going, hey, man, we just gave you $3 million to build the new entertainment district next to the stadium, which is what they're doing at Tennessee, by the way. So they're building an entertainment district right next to Neyland Stadium. So this idea of like, hey, we're going to add a 10% charge to your tickets. Neyland Stadium holds 101,000 people every time they have a home game. If you want to support your team, this feels like an easy way to do it. Hey, you're dressing it in orange, or you're dressing in the creamsicle outfit every weekend anyway to support the team, right? You're shouting your brains out. You're shouting your lungs out in the end zone, trying to give your team a home field advantage. This will actually give your team an advantage, Joshy.
I am, one of my core tenets and beliefs, am anti-passing the cost on to the consumer. When a program like Tennessee, with all the money they have rolling around to build new entertainment centers, decides maybe instead of cutting what we're paying our AD and some of the staff and all the people around there, they decide, you know what, to enjoy a game now, because we have to compete in this revenue sharing, a great way to make more revenue is to look at the person who supports us. I don't like the idea of, instead of figuring out ways to make the money work and actually do the sharing, because for a long time, programs like Tennessee have collected off the backs of those same kids that now, when they're asked to pay for them, say, well, guess what? Not our problem. You, the consumer, taking care of it.
But you know why they're doing this? I can tell you why they're doing it. I'll tell you why they're doing it. Because the schools are pissed off, because the donors are now, instead of giving to the school in their endowment, now they're giving it to the athlete, and they see it as going right out the door. So they're figuring a way to like, okay, how do we get this sports alumni, whatever, to give the money to the school in their endowment instead of it going to the athlete?
And
so
to be
let's
honest with
pass
you,
it
they can't.
on to the consumer.
They can't, exactly. Because these people, these boosters, these donors who have been donating for years and years and years and years are saying enough.
Yeah.
Enough.
Sure.
We paid for the facilities. We paid for this. We paid for that. Now we're paying for athletes. No more. And again, I think they're well within their right to do that as well.
Aren't the donors getting double hit here now, though? If I'm a donor who also attends games, I am now donating and then giving an extra 10% every week to probably some of those donors have a lot of tickets. And
Suites.
Yeah. I mean, they get little
premium
perks,
seats.
But
So basically, the donor is now double hit for already giving a bunch of money.
How about this? How about give some of the TV revenue, stop bothering the alumni, give up some of the TV revenue, and pay the athletes that way? Wouldn't that be simple?
It's so interesting.
That would be very simple.
Let's put it on the Jen Gabe and Chewy Twitter poll as it relates to the Wisconsin Badgers. A lot of people here taking Badgers games. If you knew that you paying 10% more on your tickets would help them pay the athletes, keep, get, retain 5-star athletes, 4-star athletes, would you be open to it? 800-990-3776. We got to take a break. We have Sophia Minert coming up next to talk about the Brew Crew, who could clinch the division today before they even take the field. We'll talk to her about that next. If you love sports betting, you got to make your way to the Sportsbook at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. It has everything a sports fanatic could want and more. And if you're in a rush, guys, they've got that free 20-minute reserved parking spaces right by the Skywalk. They have figured it all out. Tonight, Ben, Greg, and I will be at the Potawatomi Sportsbook for our show, The Weekly Wager. Get all of our advice on the best bets of the weekend. It's a new era of sports betting at Potawatomi, so get in on the action.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got some backups. Eastbound 94 coming in from about Highway G all the way to Highway 16 through the construction zone. Then more delays from 84th Street through the stadium. Westbound 894 is going to be a bit slow from 27th Street to 68th. Southbound 43 slowing down from almost Bender Road all the way down past Capitol Drive. Northbound 4394 slow around the Plainfield curve up to Oklahoma Avenue. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, sunny and warm, a high of 81 at the lake. 86 inland. Tonight, mainly clear and patchy fog, a low of 62 at the lake, 55 inland. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman, and I got to tell you about my experience at QC Kinetics. It is one of those things that you had to see to believe. Went in there, got my free consultation, had a little bit of back tightness, and they went through a robust diagnosis to figure out what was going on with me, and I could see exactly what QC Kinetics can offer me, what they can offer you. I mean, we're talking about regeneration of tissue, plasma, and platelets, and stem cells, and all these things put right back into your joints, into the areas that are giving you pain, to give you back your life again. It's really no wonder that they've had tens of thousands of patients that walk away completely satisfied. They're going to enhance your joints, improve your mobility, and get you back to doing what you want to do. So it doesn't matter where it is, your knees, your hips, your shoulders, your back. QC Kinetics is there to help you get your life back. Don't wait any longer. They're the future of medicine. I was able to experience it for myself. I want you to experience too. Call now for your absolutely free consultation. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
With NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you can watch the most live NFL games all in one place, which means you can watch the Rams and the Colts and the Vikings and the Bengals and the Buccaneers and the Chargers, or whoever you're rooting for, all in your living room. But not literally, of course. That would be dangerous. Watch every game every Sunday with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV. Sign up at youtube.com/NFLST. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games.
Save big on your next project. Right now at Menards. Get cleaner clothes and softer skin with Morton water softeners. Morton's Wi-Fi integration allows for tracking and alerts, which puts you in control of your water while at home or away. Morton's look-ahead technology learns and predicts your water needs, saving you money. Save big on Morton water softeners, and don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
From the latest happenings on the diamond.
With the team here the last couple of days, Eric Haas had a big weekend, and pitchers love throwing to him. I mean, he's a great teammate.
To all the insight and expertise on things outside the ballpark.
Some of these deals, and of course the way that the wild card picture is right now, if the narrative is that there might be teams that are both buying and selling.
We only turn to one person. Batter up. It's Sophia Minnaert on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Brought to you by Two Men in a Junk Truck. From unwanted furniture to full-service residential and commercial cleanouts. Go to twomeninajunktruck.com to book your free, no-obligation, same-day estimate.
Oh, Sophia Minnaert, I can only imagine, was sitting last night watching that game, covering that game with bated breath. And when we all got the news flash that the Cubs had indeed lost to the A's, we thought, maybe the Brewers can do it this evening. Sophia, what were you thinking last night as that game went on?
I was thinking Bryce Harper spoiled what could have been a fun night.
Yeah, he hit that home run, right?
I mean, yeah, it was a really close game, and then Bryce Harper does Bryce Harper things, and the Phillies were able to add on there, but. Yeah, this is the fun time of year. It's fun to scoreboard watch. It's fun to, ask teams for help, and keep up with what everyone else is doing. And then, but obviously the Brewers are in a great spot. The magic number is 1 now. The Cubs have a day game at Wrigley, so we'll go into tonight, a 6:40 start time, kind of knowing the outcome of their game. And, obviously the Brewers would love to go into this thing with a win, but they've got a lot of opportunities to get it done.
Sophia, winning the division is nice, but for me, it's all about the bye. So when do we hit must win? Are we there yet? Are we at must win?
Yeah, I think right now they're 2 games back of the Dodgers. The Phillies have the top seed. And coming into this series, even with a sweep, they wouldn't have been able to catch the Phillies. And part of that is just, how the series led up to this meeting. They obviously will not see the Dodgers anymore. So you're just in win series mode, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure you can say that every game is must win at this point, but we've talked about that. And Murph talked about that last night too, is, there was obviously some disappointment last night of not getting it done. And for him, he's just kind of looking at it of, okay, you're obviously trying to wrap up the division, still very much in play for trying to chase down the Dodgers and get that 2 seed. But either way, you just want to be playing really good baseball, right, going into the postseason. And I think the schedule will help them do that, because this is a team that has usually kind of risen up to the level of their opponent. So you've got 3 against the Phillies. They're going to get 4 against the Diamondbacks starting tomorrow. That's going to be a really good series. Then you're going to go to Pittsburgh for the final meeting with them, and then coming back, you've got 3 games with the Mets, and they're right on the bubble too. They've got a lot to play for. They're trying to secure maybe that 6 seed, and now you're looking at they might be playing the Mets in back-to-back series if that's indeed how it shakes out. If the Brewers stay in the 3, if the Mets are able to secure the 6. That's going to be a week with the New York Mets if that's how it shakes out. The Braves are still very much in it. They're 2 games back now, so they're playing teams that have a lot to play for, and they could still very much factor into the seeding even up until the last day with the division clinched.
Sophia, is there a team in the playoff picture that you think they match up well against?
I think the wild card round, I'm really glad that they changed the format from the single game wild card, which is just terrifying, and it's an elimination game. You're holding your breath every pitch, and it's also just not true to how you play the season. The wild card round, I'm glad that they at least made it a 3-game series and favoring that higher seed with hosting. Anything can happen in those 3 games, as we saw last year. The Diamondbacks came in hot, and they swept the Brewers. There were a number of things that happened in that series. But yeah, I think they can match up really well with everybody, and they can also get beat by everybody. And that's a kind of cliched answer, but it really is true. But I do think the 3-game series kind of helps level that out from the 1-game wild card.
Sophia, I know I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit here, but who else are big free agents next year other than Adames?
Oh, gosh. Let's see here. A lot of them are under control or have options. Like Rhys Hoskins has a player option. Colin Ray has a team option. Willie Adames is a free agent. I'm trying to go through the lineup here. Most of the young players are obviously under team control.
So this is run backable, then, huh?
Yes, yeah. I would say the majority of the position player group. William Contreras is still under team control. Oh, gosh. Pitching-wise, Freddie Peralta is still under team control. Oh, Aaron Savali, he would be a free agent. I think Frankie Montas, he may have 1 year left. He may be going into free agency. I know Savali for sure. So I would say, look, for the most part, the majority of the team is under team control for next year.
That's good to know.
Which is part of why the team is built this way, right? Mm-hmm. It's a lot of young talent, and they're not looking. Last year they had a record number of arbitration players, so you'll probably have a big group going into that. But in terms of true free agents, Willie would be at the top of the list.
Sophia, it is a very exciting time. How was the vibe at the ballpark last night? I imagine, there's a lot of energy. I imagine there's a lot of anticipation. How would you characterize what you're seeing with the fans now as the Brewers get close to clinching the division?
Yeah, I'm seeing all of that. I think fans ultimately want to see them get it done. The players obviously want to get it done. And you've put yourself in a great spot, to have this opportunity. So I think the players know, and we talked to Rhys Hoskins about this last night, is you're so close, right? You're at the finish line. but there's still more to play for. So like you can't go out and necessarily try to do more just for the sake of trying to, get this thing done and get it to the finish line. That doesn't always work in baseball. It's better to just sort of like Bree said, he's like, you just talk it out. You put it out there, you acknowledge it, and then you go out and you play the game. And that kind of mentality has served them really well up until this point. And so I think you just run it back. It's like, okay, like go out, play a clean game, do your job. Hopefully you come out with a win. You try to stack up as many good series as you can, be in a really good position here for the postseason. No one's really talking about postseason matchups or anything like that yet. Obviously, everyone knows what's going on and who the teams are that are involved, but it's still very much like take care of your own business mode. I think the fans can feel like, hey, things are close. Postseason tickets are coming up. They're going to come on sale Friday morning. So it's like things are getting real, right? We're definitely getting to the end here, but the vibe is good, and I think they've done a great job of they're still relaxed. They're having fun. They're keeping things loose. Overall, things are really good.
Last thing before we let you go, what is the plan for celebration? If the Cubs win, I assume there won't be a celebration before the game. Would they still pop bubbly after the game, regardless of the outcome?
Oh, yeah. There will still be, yes, absolutely. There will still be a celebration. If you remember, actually, last year, they were waiting on the outcome of another game and got the outcome of that game like right after the Brewers lost. So they actually celebrated after a loss and still had a great celebration. The timing, they was kind of within maybe 10, 15 minutes of each other. So, yes, we'll know the outcome of the Cubs game regardless. I think preferably with a win, there'll be confetti and champagne and cigars and the whole thing. It is still a huge accomplishment. So no matter how you get it done, there will be a celebration. So, yeah, if you're looking to make some plans, feel free to come on out to American Family Field tonight.
Sophia, do you dress accordingly, knowing that you might get doused in champagne? Do you pick like the 10th outfit instead of maybe number 2 or 3 in the rotation?
Yes, there's some strategy to this. You don't want to go in with like a brand new outfit. Definitely don't want to go in with like your favorite pair of shoes. I always throw on some type of like rain jacket or something just as a top layer. That helps a little bit, and also just to like throw your phone in there and keep that somewhat waterproof. But it's a lot of fun. These guys deserve a celebration for what they've accomplished. It's a huge deal. They always have a lot of fun with it. I know they're going to have some fun with Jackson Churio because, of course, he's only 20. So I think he'll have some special items
champagne.
for his.
I believe that's what they said, right? Apple
really?
juice.
Yeah. We've never had this problem before.
Yeah.
So we've never had a 20-year-old in the clubhouse celebration. So they'll have some fun with him. But yeah, the celebration, whenever it happens, hopefully tonight, it will be great. And it's a great matchup. You've got Freddie Peralta and Aaron Nola, 2 great teams. The Phillies have a lot to play for. Obviously, they haven't clinched anything yet. So it's hopefully going to be a very fun night tonight.
Sophia, we are absolutely hoping that today is the day that the Brewers clinch the division and then can start focusing on chasing down the Dodgers and Phillies for those buys. Thanks for hanging out with us this morning. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Have a great day.
That's Sophia Minnaert. You'll see her out at the ballpark this evening as the Brewers continue their series with the Phillies. For your next night out, make Aria, the acclaimed restaurant inside St. Kate the Arts Hotel, your dinner destination. It's nestled on the 2nd floor of St. Kate. It's an artful dining experience that captivates with culinary creativity. You should experience the magic of Aria, where every bite is a work of culinary artistry. Learn more and make reservations at aria@stkate.com. That's Aria at stkate.com.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher, and summer is here. But if you want your parking lots and asphalt to be ready for winter, you have to remember the 3 R's from Johnson & Sons Paving. Reseal every 2 to 3 years. Repair when you see signs of cracking or potholes. And replace if there's constant standing water, buckling, or sinking. Don't scare customers or tenants away because of a bad parking lot. Connect with Johnson & Sons today before minor repairs end up being huge headaches. Schedule an appointment at johnsonsonspaving.com.
Hey, Milwaukee sports fans. It's Brad Nortman from Kyle Bruston Nortman. You've invested too much into that nice ride, so don't settle for a gas station car wash. Treat it to a Tsunami Express car wash. State-of-the-art wash technology, powerful free vacuums, and unlimited wash memberships. Now with 5 locations across Greater Milwaukee, Tsunami Express is your go-to spot for a flawless finish and a first-class car wash every time. Trust me, your car will thank you. Sign up for a membership online at TsunamiExpress.com and get your first wash free. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat.
They say seeing is believing, and when you see what's inside at American Place Casino, you better believe you're gonna love it. Because when it comes to amazing gaming, we're a real game changer. With the most exciting of table games like blackjack, craps, and roulette, the newest slots, a sports book, restaurants, bars, and more. So if you're ready for excitement, we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
Hey, it's Gabe Neitzel from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. You've heard me talk about the results Mentality has had on my life, but don't just take it from me. Jason has had success too, thanks to Mentality.
My only regret is I didn't do it sooner. Knowing once again I've gotten the treatments done and continuing, I do feel, stuff does hurt a little bit more, but I'm 40, in my 40s, and that's going to happen. But again, the energy levels, it is above and beyond. Again, I'm back in that age where I'm like, this is amazing.
Get started today at LowTUSA.com.
Who's looking for a deal? Well, Cousin Subs has a better deal just for you. Cousin's new $10 meal deals are now available online only. Choose between a 7.5-inch ham and provolone, turkey breast, or veggie sub, a bag of chips or regular fry, a regular fountain beverage, and cookie at cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app for just $10. Now that's a better deal. Cousin Subs, we believe in better. Available at participating locations only. Offer subject to change without notice.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. And for most all of us, here's the reality. Life happens. But when those moments occur, 2 words come to mind. Common sense. For nearly 90 years, Great Midwest Bank has made the home buying, building, renovation, and refinancing process straightforward, while too many others overthink and overdo. Our portfolio loans are GMB's not-so-best-kept secret. Apply online at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Gear up for October baseball. Brewers postseason tickets go on sale on September 20th. Clear your schedule, claim your spot, and be here for a Brewers postseason run you don't want to miss at Brewers.com.
For your next night out, make Aria, the acclaimed restaurant inside St. Kate the Arts Hotel, your dinner destination. Aria, nestled on the 2nd floor of St. Kate, is an artful dining experience that captivates with its culinary creativity. Delighting in its offering of artisanal American cuisine, the restaurant transcends tradition and leans into the realm of playful and inventive flavors. Come and experience the magic of Aria, where every bite is a work of culinary artistry. Learn more and make reservations at aria at stkate.com.
Guys, let's be honest. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Oak Creek on Howell Road, just south of Putes Road. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week, even Sundays. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
363. What's that?
The number of yards they gave up on the ground against the Philadelphia
It's a
Eagles.
Bible verse, John 3:63. Look it up. Tell us what it
I
says.
thought it was Joe 363, and it was "Thou shalt not get past me on the line of scrimmage."
On 94.5 ESPN.
Here we go.
It's you.
You know what I say. Ashton's a loser and he's in studio, but I love my wife and that's why she's happy. And that usually means a visit to my guy, Dean, the dancing machine at the Jewelry Center. Earrings, custom jewelry, and repair services. The Jewelry Center does it all, including top-of-the-line engagement rings. And when that day comes for my 4 boys to take their next step in their lives, you can bet they'll be heading into the Jewelry Center for an engagement ring. The Jewelry Center offers great deals and selections on both lab-grown and naturally mined diamonds for rings. Plus, you always hear about how Gabe went to the Jewelry Center and had a great experience with the Jewelry Center specialist to pick out that perfect ring. Stop into one of their 3 locations, Brookfield, Greenfield, Springfield or where that loser lives in Burlington today, or check the full inventory online. I know I forgot Greenfield.
I don't live in there.
I don't care where you live,
5 minutes
okay?
away. I live
Just
downtown.
stop into the jewelry center or go online at shop.tjc.com.
I do have to do that, though, for
Took
real.
out Ashton a few times there in that read.
Jeez.
We brought Ashton
Why am
into
I
the
here?
studio because,
I like your hat.
Ashy, a few folks on the ESPN Milwaukee talk and text line have noted that there is an announcement for Rots Hots.
Oh.
It's on the talk and text line. Rots Hots
what
is
is
putting a pause on operations
I
at the
didn't plan
conclusion of the season. Do you have some news for us about what's happening with your business?
No, just stay tuned. I don't have any news.
But what's happening? You guys are taking a little hiatus?
We're taking a little pause.
Is it a little wedding pause?
Yeah, a little wedding pause. We get the wedding next year, and then you never know house hunting. You never know what's going to happen. So we're taking a little pause as we look to grow potentially. Maybe get a bigger truck. Maybe get a space. You never know.
So here's why I bring it up. Everybody who's like, this is chaotic. What is happening right now? Where can people support Rots Hots over the next week or so?
Well, they can go to the corners of Brookfield tonight, which is where we'll be. They can go to Clody Park and Whitefish Bay, which a lot of our teammates will end up going to as well. Probably on Saturday, we're going to do a beer fest out there. And then in Pleasant Prairie, so if you're down near the border, we're going to be there on Sunday morning. And also over the next week, at the end of this week, actually, all the tips that are being supported go towards Brian D's marathon running in Chicago in October, and he is supporting Camp One Step for pediatric cancer research. So you're doing a lot of good.
Did you pay for the spot?
No, I am terrified at the moment currently because this is a free spot.
Well, I think we should at least get some free burgers or something.
I mean, yeah,
if you show up,
Huh?
yeah, if
One
you
of
show
Susie's
up,
I'm not
treats,
showing.
maybe.
yeah, if you show up, maybe. We're going to be in Brookfield. That's halfway to your area.
That's very close.
Past my bedtime, though.
What time are you going to be there?
4:30.
Okay.
It's close. It is close to
It
that
is
time
very
there.
How old
close.
are you?
You should
I'm
grab the
old.
blammer, bring them out, and let them rip
Oh
the
man,
truck.
we need a Blammer
That's a great
Thursday.
idea. And also, we just need to remember, guys, we got a lot of loyal listeners who tune in every day, who have been following Ashton's journey from the very beginning, from when he got the food truck till now, when obviously they're taking a little hiatus and maybe growing the business in the future. So I do think it is good to keep everyone abreast of what is happening with your endeavors.
I love that word.
Abreast or endeavors?
Yes, both words. I do need to go to the
See,
jewelry center.
speaking of the evolution,
No kidding. He would have never said that in a million funny words.
ever when we
Abreast?
started the show, would he be
No.
following up on an
Can you guys
abreast?
believe it's been 4 years, by the way?
Yes.
Does it
4
feel like
years.
4 years?
It's been a year of Joshy.
Really?
Yeah. I think yesterday or
No.
Monday, maybe. It might be today.
It was like the second or third week of the season.
Yeah, Might be today, honestly. Hey,
is great.
happy anniversary, Josh.
Hey, thanks.
Things are going well. If only Gabe were here to join in on the
Well,
festivities.
he's faking golf, so it's fine.
I don't think so. If he's not here, he's golfing. Isn't that like how?
What's
isn't
the
that
hat?
standard operating procedure?
This is Tony Smith's golf school that he's starting.
Why don't we get swag anymore?
Who's we? What swag do you want? I don't
know. Usually there'd be like a surprise or something.
A surprise of what?
And it's also valuable for you to remember what we deal with every day. You know, the why don't we
There's
get
a lot.
swag?
There's a
inquiry.
lot of mirrors in this room for this show. I'm just going to say that everyone needs to take a deep look into what's happening.
I'm perfect.
You are among them.
Yes, he is. Just ask him.
Guilty as charged. Ashton, everything going well with the wedding planning?
Yes, everything's great. Pizza and ice cream.
Everything going good with the White Sox?
Everything's great. Pizza and ice cream. Actually, I would like to revisit real quickly here in the last 90 seconds of the show. I think this was less than that, maybe 10 seconds. Last year, before I even had a girlfriend, I said I was going to watch 2,700 innings of baseball.
I do remember that, yes.
Boom. I can't remember the last inning of White Sox baseball I watched.
That's great.
That's not great. You don't follow through on
Could
things
bring
you
back
say
Tony.
you're going to do.
But I got the girlfriend and the...
Tony would do more with this team than the current manager.
Hey, do you know anybody that can take someone out?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
Like a whack?
You're uncomfortable.
I didn't say anything.
You're
I didn't
uncomfortable
say
talking
anything.
about your business on the air, but you will inquire about a potential assassination on the air. I want to
that's
make
not,
sure.
I didn't say anything. That could mean anything. It could be take him out on a date. Could
Take
be,
him out to the ball game.
You know what I mean?
He doesn't dig the hole, though.
Yeah, Jerry
Ashton,
Reinsdorf. Gotta go.
Always good to see you. Will D and Tausch is next on ESPN Milwaukee. Have a great one, everybody.
Westbound 94, watch for delays from 27th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Then on the eastbound side, we've got delays in the construction zone from Elmhurst Road all the way to